Welcome to Season 3 of On the Spot.
An embassy is a base for a country's diplomatic mission abroad. That is to say that the embassy represents the interests, people, and government of the country it represents in the host nation. It is a key element in bilateral relations between both countries. It is also an important contact point for travelers and their home country, and such provides a number of supports, especially when you find yourself in an unexpected or unfortunate situation. I am here in Abu Dhabi at the Sierra Leone's United Arab Emirates Embassy to have a quick chat with our ambassador, His Excellency Rashid Sise. He is Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to United Arab Emirates, India, and Bangladesh. This is On the Spot. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining me here on the show. So you are Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, tongue twisted there, to UAE, India, and Bangladesh. So people who are wondering what it's really about, can you break that down for us?
Thank you very much, Stella, and welcome to the United Arab Emirates, and particularly to the Embassy of Sierra Leone in the UAE.
Thank you.
I am Rashid Sise. I am Sierra Leone's ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. I serve as the President's representative, His Excellency retired Julius Maada Bio, here in Sierra Leone, in the UAE, in India, and in Bangladesh. Ambassador, Plenipotentiary, and Extraordinary means that I am the sole representative of His Excellency, the President, in these three countries.
Right.
I conduct business on his behalf in terms of strengthening the bilateral relationship between Sierra Leone and these three countries, in terms of seeking the welfare of Sierra Leoneans in these three countries, in terms of strengthening trade and investment between Sierra Leone and these three countries, and overall doing anything that pertains to Sierra Leone in these three countries.
I've been to a few countries and I've interviewed a few of our ambassadors, and one of the concerns they've always voiced is the reluctance of Sierra Leoneans to come forward and associate or notify the embassy that they are here, and maybe they are either visiting or they are resident in the country. Is that the case here? I
would say ours is not different from what obtains in other embassies. It's generally cuts across. I usually get calls from Sierra Leoneans only when they are in trouble or they need the assistance of the embassy. Most of them come here for what they call greener pasture. And so when they come, the first interest for them is to search for a job. Okay, they get job, good for them, no problem. The embassy has no problem with them. They don't contact the embassy. But only when they encounter problems at the airport, for example, or with their masters, that's when they start contacting the embassy. Some of them will come. Or some of them will come not for problems, but probably to come and do attestation of their documents. Right. That's what will bring. You hardly find someone come here, knock on the door and say, oh, I'm just here to say hello and to announce my presence. Very seldom that happens.
Why should, a Sierra Leonean who travels anywhere knock on the door of the embassy and notify them of their presence?
Exactly for the reason why they will call when they have problem. It's exactly the reason why they should notify the embassy that they are in that country. Just preempt the problem that I am here. Anything could happen to me.
Absolutely.
I will go, I will fall down, I will get hit by a vehicle, I will be taken to hospital. I need emergency support. So for that reason, you should contact. But we don't do that. I will say yes, people don't know. But then it's also perception. People will say, they will not help me, so why do I contact them? But then when you have problem, you contact them. But the embassy will always come to their aid. I will always say, let's treat the problem first before looking at why didn't you tell?
Yeah.
We always respond to their needs.
Okay. So what's the Sierra Leone community like here?
The Sierra Leone community here is thriving. It's increasing. Recently, we had a contact with the Ministry of Labor. I was shocked to learn that Sierra Leone, the number or the inflow of Sierra Leoneans here is on the increase presently from many when you compare, Africa-wise. Sierra Leoneans are coming, and I'm not surprised. I'm getting it. I see it, In terms of how they conduct themselves here, you will be shocked to know that, yes, they really stay within the laws of this country. I have had instances wherein I sit with the authorities in this country. They commend Sierra Leoneans.
Beautiful.
Yes, they commend Sierra Leoneans. That is good. We have pockets of, unruly behaviors, wherein some of them will be maybe caught along the way in dangerous places. That happens. But I would say by and large, they're doing very well. Some of them will say, oh, I don't mix myself with the Sierra Leonean community because it's bad influence, but I would encourage everyone. We live here as a small community. Wherever you find yourself is home. Yeah. So try as much as possible, no matter what the ills are, no matter what the perception is, try to be part of the community. That helps a lot. And try to come to the embassy. Not only when you are in trouble, you call on the embassy. This is home. I tell them that this is home for you. This is Sierra Leone. Once you enter here, this is Sierra Leone. You should feel comfortable. Come to your home.
What people don't realize, and I think I learned that over series of instances on international cases where people have had to seek immunity in embassies and they don't understand how powerful an embassy is. Literally, it's a place where even the host country has no authority over. But as you speak about, the information you got from the Ministry of Labor about the inflow of Sierra Leoneans here, I think this is the next conversation we're going to have, but this is On the Spot. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back. For those of you just joining us, well, I have the ambassador, His Excellency Rashid Sisay, who is ambassador for UAE, India, and Bangladesh. So before the break, we're going to talk about labor and the inflow of Sierra Leoneans. What's the story behind high inflow, from the records you've received from the Ministry of Labor?
Dubai, which is part of the United Arab Emirates, it's the most, I will say, the most popular city in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come to Dubai. But then it's very easy to come to Dubai because the focus for Dubai is tourism. And then we have people who have been going on telling them that they have jobs for them here. Come to Dubai. You'll get a job. And these are not just Sierra Leoneans. They advertise extensively using all types of windows to reach out to them and say, come, we can get you jobs. They come. So it's easy to come. That's why they are coming. But at the end of the day, once they come, they are disappointed. Not by the infrastructure, that one is there, but by the fact that why they came here is for job. And it's not easy to get that.
Clearly, the jobs are not readily available as advertised. And you do have them come to the country. How do they fare? Because this is a country where it's not like Sierra Leone, where you can just walk up to your neighbor and say, "Bra you babode." No one's going to give it to you free of charge. You have to work for it. What is the situation for such Sierra Leoneans? And what are their options?
Good question, Stella. Before coming to what the options are for them, let me just step back, please, and talk about the structures that are there for them before coming.
Yeah.
So, for example, an agency in the UAE may have secured contract from the airport, Emirates, that we want 10, 15 cleaners, airport cleaners or drivers Okay? So that employment agency will connect with a similar one, local one in Sierra Leone, to recruit those drivers and bring them here. That is a structured one. Once you come in a system like that, you are assured of your job. They just get the visitor's visa, tourist visa, and come.
And they get stuck here.
Yeah. Because when you come, it's not easy for you to secure a job under that system. So what then obtains for them? It's difficult. They end up overstaying because the tourist visa is limited. 1 month, 3 months. Once that expires, you are charged every extra day
that you stay.
So they make it attractive for you because it is tourist visa, it's visit visa, expecting that you come for that period and you go back. Once you overstay, they start fining you.
And you will not be able to leave until you pay that fine.
The borders are so tight here. The borders are so tight. You don't go out.
So they literally get stuck in here.
They get on here for 1 month, 2 months, and every day they accumulate those fines. Just a few days ago, I was asking about one of them. It's now 16,000 dirhams. Fine.
That's a lot of money.
That's almost $5,000.
Wow. What are the instances where, because we see where people, actually Africans are lured to, Arab countries, under the guise of getting jobs. And in some instances, they do get the job, but, they either are maltreated in the job, or we see where modern day slavery is happening. Is that the case here? And have there been incidents where the embassy had to step in to either sort of extract that individual out of the situation, or probably help them get repatriated back to Sierra Leone?
We haven't had an instance wherein we have intervened really to take off our nationals from their employees or from their masters. We haven't had that instance. We have had instance wherein they have overstayed, especially during the peak of COVID. Yeah. Most of them lost their jobs and they wanted to go. Wow. We had to step in through IOM, International Organization for Migration. We organized that repatriation for about 60 of them that went back home, got tickets for them, got some living allowance, and their upkeep, paid for their rents for a month or so until they were ready to be repatriated. I've called IOM. There is one Sierra Leonean who is hospitalized. He's due to be discharged today. He came on a visit visa, 1 month visa. He's already overstaying. His visa expired the 20th of March. So that's an issue I'm addressing right now to see how we could pay off through IOM, that bill. And make sure that he gets back to Sierra Leone.
Well, it is very obvious that the embassy is quite proactive when it comes to issues surrounding Sierra Leoneans and their welfare. We'll now jump into the relationship between Sierra Leone and UAE. We'll take a quick break. This is on the spot, but you definitely do not want to miss what the ambassador has to say. We'll be back. Welcome back. The ambassador is still here. So, before going to the break, I did say we're going to talk about Sierra Leone's relationship with the UAE, India, and Bangladesh. How is it? One of the main reasons why we have the mission is to further the bilateral relationships and, basically, create further, sort of relationship, and hopefully as well that can attract investments and trade. How is that going?
Great. My first objective of coming to this country was to strengthen the bilateral relationship between Sierra Leone and the UAE. I see a lot of potentials if we could mirror the development of this country to Sierra Leone's development agenda. So from the very first day I came here, when I had a meeting with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of this country, I made it very clear to them that my mission here is to strengthen the bilateral relationship. And one request I made then was that I want my president to visit the UAE. I came here in October, and by March, the following year, the President Julius Maada Bio was here. That was the first visit he made. Yeah. Immediately following that, there was a huge delegation from this country, the largest delegation the UAE has ever sent to any country.
Wow.
To go to Sierra Leone and look at various sectors, agriculture, mining, infrastructure, education, And since then, we've continued to engage.
Well, what are some of the investment potentials or possibilities that we should look out for?
Well,
or even trade as well.
Trade, yeah. Well, going back to that delegation that went to Sierra Leone, they looked at agriculture, for example. We have now ongoing a $54 million project in the agriculture sector that we are talking to them on here and invest in agriculture, rice production, and other high-value crops, vegetables in Rombe and also in Tomabom. Mining, gold and diamond, they are very much interested. Every day I get calls. Even this morning I had the ambassador of Afghanistan, was seated here this morning with me. Why was he here? Is to see how the Afghan investors that they have here, they are interested in gold in Sierra Leone.
Is there any interest in education? I see that they have a really strong, very high. They seem to have a pretty high standard in education here. So is there any interest in education, and what would that interest look like?
They are very much interested in education. We have connected them. We have signed an MOU between the two ministries, the Ministry of Higher Education, Dr. Alpha Wuri, and the Minister of Higher Education here, and also the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education. Is also in very good relationship with his counterpart here. We engaged various universities here to see how we could have Sierra Leonean students here. I visited one university a year ago or so. They had no Sierra Leonean student there.
Wow.
3 days ago, I was in Dubai. We had a competition that we had a representative from Sierra Leone. In the audience there, I met 9 students from Sierra Leone who are studying here on scholarship.
Wonderful.
Yes, at that university.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's something that I did. I went to that university. I asked them that we need scholarship. We need students, highly qualified students, from Sierra Leone. Let them come and study.
How about in area? Because what we see in terms of, I don't like to say aid, but in terms of maybe some sort of a symbiotic relationship, in the sense that we see a lot of intervention from China, be it either in aid, be it either in supporting infrastructural projects and the like. Do we expect to see that? And I ask that intentionally because you see that they first of all, they're very big on infrastructure here. Technology is on a different level, and they seem to have a very high level of expertise and skills as well. Do we expect to see that more intervention in Sierra Leone from the UAE?
Yes, I will say, but specific to aid, you may recall that when we had the fire incident,
yes,
at Wellington, Fumex to be specific, GAE was the first and the largest in terms of humanitarian support, to Sierra Leone. A whole plane load of medical equipment and the like was sent to Sierra Leone. There is an hospital in Putloko that's being completed now for 100-bed field, what we call 100-bed field hospital. It's in Putloko. That one has been completed with equipment, everything airlifted there.
Wonderful.
Just waiting now for its commissioning. And we've also been receiving other support from them, from the UAE to Sierra Leone.
What is the relationship as well with Bangladesh and India, and how can Sierra Leoneans who are resident in those areas access the embassy here? Because this embassy covers both countries as well.
The next focus for this mission is really stepping up our bilateral and relationship with those countries, and also covering Sierra Leoneans there.
Yeah.
Just 2 days ago, I had a Zoom call with Sierra Leonean students in India, who are there about, they said 60 of them there. So I had a Zoom call with them to see how, yes, we are not based in New Delhi or in India, but I told them that it's our responsibility here to respond to their needs. And so when they ask for a call with me, we organize this trip. We tell them that this mission is not resident in those countries, but we cover them, we provide 100%, support, bilateral, consular, whatever support that we are required to. Wonderful. We are supposed to do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Ambassador. I mean, we could go on with this conversation, but we, obviously don't have all the time. But thank you so much, Ambassador, for the time. And I believe that a lot of people who are watching, obviously now, hopefully when they travel, would make an effort to reach out to the embassy. And hopefully those who are here as well, who have not yet knocked on the doors of the embassy, can do so. If not for anything, so that at least the embassy knows that they are right here, or maybe in India or in Bangladesh. So thank you so much for opening the doors. Like you say, this is our home. So, you couldn't have said no anyway, because it's our home. But thanks nonetheless. And I also want to say thank you as well to Mohammed, who's been super, super supportive. And, he's been really supportive in, again, helping to, get this interview together, and a few other interviews here. So the point is, the mission is pretty responsive to people, and I can, clearly attest to that. And yes, the response is pretty high, so which is very good. So well done, Mr. Ambassador, and well done as well to the team. This is On the Spot. Coming up next are my final words. In my final words, as a traveler, it is advisable to make contact with the embassy in the country of destination so that they are aware of your presence, especially in an instance of emergency, so that they can provide support and guidance where necessary. The embassy seeks your interest and works to protect you from unfair treatment. I must mention that it is important to always fact-check claims of international job opportunities so that you do not get disappointed or stranded. As I often say, the grass is not always greener on the other side, and your success is not determined by your location. Thank you for watching the show. I would love to hear from you. But as always, don't forget to reach out to us via our social media platform, via email, and our website. A special thanks to the ambassador of UAE, India, and Bangladesh, His Excellency Ambassador Rashid Sase, for according us the time to have this very important conversation. A special thanks as well goes to Sierra Leone's embassy in Washington, D.C., United States of America, for supporting the On the Spot show. We will be back on your screen next week, but as always, till then, stay fabulous.